We recently did a virtual classroom on the selection of method, and as part of that we developed a spreadsheet that we could use to illustrate how numbers change as we went through the different methods. We are going to create some video around the spreadsheet and share the spreadsheet so that people can continue to use this as a training tool. The spreadsheet, which I'm in right now, has several topics. One is this video is covering just an introduction to the spreadsheets, which is showing the structure of the spreadsheet. We'll then have separate videos on one-sided methods and the lack of relationship between profits and transfer pricing. And we'll develop other videos in the future. The links to these will be on the wiki for both the spreadsheet and the videos. If we go to the worksheet labeled Selection of Method, we come to the basic data that we're going to use. The first part of the spreadsheet, and it's shown in blue, show data for the controlled party. And we have a set of assumptions here in units sold of 1,000, transfer price of 143, and sales price of 185, total cost of goods sold of 100,050. And we use these basic assumptions to build up a income statement for the manufacturer and distributor of the controlled party. So we have a controlled manufacturer. Its total revenues are going to be 1,000 times the transfer price of 143. The distributor is going to have revenues of 185,000. Again, the units of 1,000 times the end sales price of 185. The distributor is also going to have cost of goods sales of 143 or 143,000, which are equal to the revenue of the manufacturer. And then we can show consolidated results where the revenues from the end sales price times units, the cost of goods sold comes directly from cost of goods sold, and then we sort of build out the rest of the sheet. And you can look behind the formulas on the sheet when you have the spreadsheet. Now if I increase the size of the screen, we now see a pie chart that shows the allocation of profits between the two entities. And this obviously depends upon both the transfer price and some other variables. We have these little sliders here which allow you to change the transfer price. So if I increase the transfer price to 148, while keeping everything else constant, the distributor's share of profits goes down, the manufacturer's shares go up. If I were to increase the end sales price to 190 per unit, the total, the distributor's profits increase. It doesn't really change the manufacturer's price as long as we keep the transfer price constant. We can also change units sold, cost of goods sold, and variable costs. We've created a similar set of data for an uncontrolled entity, which we can use as a comparable. And the uncontrolled entity has the same set of assumptions. We also have the sliders so you can change the assumptions. We have an uncontrolled manufacturer with an income statement. We have an uncontrolled distributor with an income statement. We've created a total that sort of is analogous to the total for the controlled entity. Finally, if we expand the screen, we can see where we've shown the different methods that we use to make comparisons between the uncontrolled comparable and our tested party, or excuse me, our uncontrolled comparable and the controlled entity. I used the word tested party. That is not correct. We only use that with one-sided methods. And the methods are shown CUP, RPM, CPLM, TNMM, and so forth. Let me get back to the right spot. We have the transfer price that is computed. We have the data which are used to compute the transfer price. And these data basically, from the uncontrolled entity, we get data on margins or ratios. And for data from the controlled entity, we get data from the actual, the end price of the controlled entity for the resale price method, total cost for the controlled, etc. And if you go into any of the formulas here, and if I hit edit, you can actually see what the formula is, and so you can check and see how we were actually computing things at that point in time. While the primary purpose of this video has simply been to show how the spreadsheet has been set up, it is worth noting one or two substantive things. First, if we have the situation, which we never see, of a perfect comparable, and we have perfect information for that comparable, all of the methods here give rise to the same price. So if we have perfect information, all of the methods work equally well. However, if we change this and introduce differences between our comparable and the controlled entity, this no longer holds true. As just a very simple example of this, suppose we change the end price that's received by the uncontrolled distributor from 185 to 190. Then we see that while some of the methods have been not changed, see the CUP and the CPLM have not changed, the RPM has in fact sort of changed, and similarly, the profit split and the buyer-tested TNMM are leading to different results. So once we change the data between the comparable and the tested party, or excuse me, the controlled entity, we need to think about sort of which method is to be used. The primary purpose of this video has been simply to walk through the spreadsheet. In other videos, we will talk about some issues which arise in the selection of methods, and in particular sort of the impact of one-sided methods and what happens when profits do not depend upon transfer prices. Thank you.